Hello everyone, Darko2012 here with Global Government News, and I am reading another article from this news.com.au, the Australian website, who was, I guess, voted the news website of the year. And I guess my reasoning for that would be, or my reason for why they would be voted the news website of the year is because they have the craziest stuff going on in the land and down under. Um, as far as the state goes and pushing policies, social policies, and that from the federal government onto the people of Australia. Um, I don't know what's going on over there, but man, dude, they always have some crazy news. And here's another story that basically is saying that homeowners and renters will have to undergo this mandatory energy efficient assessment that will cost $1,500 per property, and if they don't, they get fined $2,000. All in the name of reducing carbon emissions, which is a big phony scam. So, um, and it is totally not a free market, right? Because if you let the free market dictate, you know, as far as, being more energy efficient, well, I mean, come on. You don't really have to force people to have things that will help them in the long run, right? To be, oh, well, this is going to save you money. This is going to save you money. And that's like, some of it is about the only thing that these people that follow this man-made global warming, CO2 is going to kill us all agenda is that it kind of leads people to have cars that burn less fuel, that are more fuel efficient, washing machines and that are more fuel efficient, houses that will maintain heat. I mean, that's great and everything, but it really it all gets. I mean, that's their selling point, which is something that is, we're not little children, right? We should be able to be allowed to do what we want with our money. So why can't we just, when we have the money available to us, the funds, to say, hey, you know what? This old washing machine from World War II, post World War II, just ain't gonna cut it anymore. It's just burning too much energy. So, and the rates, utility rates. I don't think they're ever gonna go down. But so, I mean, that's the kind of natural incentive for a homeowner to do things like this to get more energy efficient stuff. But no, they don't want you to do it on your own time when you have the money available to you. They want to force it on you and fine you if you don't, because it has nothing to do with saving the planet. I mean, if the government was really going to do something, they do something like they did in 2000. Well, they didn't really do much. It was actually the EPA that was stopping it from happening. But there's just a little small segment of the population here in the U.S. and California that was trying to get these, which is not free market at all. But I'm just saying, if we're going to be fascist, let's be fascist all around, right? Not selectively be corporatist fascist pigs. Um, and so you had some activists, green activists in California, that that were haggling the car industry here in the United States, GM specifically, and telling them, hey, make better cars. The demand is out there, but see, that's the whole thing. Is the oil industries dominate the car industry, and the car industry doesn't want to lose money. So, long story short, there with that is that they had the electric car already rolled out. They had the technology to produce batteries that would be powerful enough and efficient enough so that you can plug in your car, whatever, and do that instead of using oil, which is still not that bad of a thing, but I'm just saying. So, I mean, there's so many things that they could have done. If you're going to use the government, use them to force GM to make these electric cars, which they did. But no, they pulled them off. They pulled them off and they took them away from everybody. And so, it's like I said, it's all a big scam. Here we go. All Australian homes will soon have to undergo all mandatory energy efficient assessments costing up to $1,500 per property. The assessment has to be done before any property can be sold and rented under new laws to tackle carbon emissions. The mandatory assessment being drafted into law by the federal and state governments will rate homes by an energy efficient star system, similar to the ratings given to the fridges and washing machines. It will apply to all commercial properties from later this year to all residential properties from May 2011. And that's Adelaide Now reports. A spokesman for the state energy minister, Pat Conlon, said the ratings would inform uh, prospective owners or tenants of a building's energy use so they could factor it in to their buying or rental decision. So, yeah, a lot of the costs will be passed on to the person who is uh, the landlord, right? He's going to pass that cost on to the tenant. The spokesman said details of the mandatory disclosure scheme, including who would carry the assessments and how much they would cost, were yet to be decided. Energy efficiency expert Arthur Grammatolopoulos of Helica Architecture said rating properties could cost up to $1,500 per house. Quote, I think this is a positive move for the industry, but the question has to be asked, will there be enough experts to cope with the demand when the law is introduced? And that's a typical fascist answer. It's not, well, this is fucking bullshit. No, we just don't have enough Nazis to enforce it. So, I mean, they do have carbon police. Australia is, you guys over there are. I'm not talking about the Australian people in general. Some of you actually love this, and but there's also a lot of conservatives that do not like this. So you get you kind of get my drift. And there are the carbon credit, or not carbon credit, but yeah, they are pretty much like carbon police. And Australia they have their own show, I believe, on Discovery, and they're the ones with this biggest program for having carbon police, right, to enforce these crazy laws. A similar scheme with a 6-star rating has been operating in the Australian Capital's Territory property market for several years. Queensland's state government introduced a mandatory sustainability declaration form on January 1st, requiring homeowners to declare their property's green credentials to prospective buyers or risk a $2,000 fine. Mandatory disclosure has been criticized by property experts, as an unwarranted expense that will not influence purchasing decisions or cut household pollution. The Real Estate Institute of South Australia said governments were playing environmentally, quote, popular politics by introducing a law that they said will simply add the cost of selling and renting a home. Quote, I think they are patronizing people who are making the biggest purchase decision of their life by thinking a rating system will influence that decision, Risa Chief Executive Greg Tofton said. It's already hard enough to buy and sell a home, and this is just another financial impost that is also has the potential to delay the sale of the property. While Mr. Tofton said vendors would bear the cost of having their homes rated by a licensed expert, independent South Australian MLC and former valuer General John Darley said landlords would look to pass the cost on to tenants. This will be an extra cost to working families who have to rent because they cannot afford a mortgage. And we need this like a hole in the head unless the governments can convince us there is a definite benefit like a reduction in household pollution. But even then, I mean, it's I still don't buy it, right? Still don't buy that. You know, even if they can make a claim that it reduces CO2 emissions, so what, right? It's fucking freezing out here, and it's been the coldest this past decade. It has been a long time. I think we could actually use a little bit of warming, and so CO2 cannot always be that deadly, right? The Council, Australian Government's National Strategy on Energy Efficiency, says mandatory disclosure will, quote, help households and businesses prepare for the introduction of the Carbon Pollution Reduction Scheme, and that is the carbon tax, which the carbon police, carbon stormtroopers are standing by, right? But yeah, so it's all nonsense because when it comes down to it, when you do all this, it doesn't mean that you can still maintain your current energy output. No. That's why they have smart grid technology, which will allow the utility companies via the state regulate your output in your house. They will have a switch that will control how much energy you use. And it's the most monopolistic fascist system I think I've ever heard of. So go green or go home. Thank you.